So just know we are recording. And there's no editing. So if you do anything now you don't want on camera, that would not be good. Whoop, Betty moved. Cynthia, we lost your camera, Cynthia.
Yeah, I know.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Was that on purpose, Cynthia, or are you there?
Yes, I'm here. You hear me?
I can hear you. Did you turn your camera off on purpose?
I did.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, ladies, we are recording. So just to let you know, welcome. I am here for you. So let's start with that. Do either of you have any questions or anything in particular that you'd like to cover? And I've got a few things that I'm going to go over, but I don't know if they're what you want to go over. So what do you want to go over? Don't all talk at once. It's okay.
I'll go over what you go over.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do a screen share. Well, let me ask, before I start the screen share, let me ask you a question. How many were able to be on Holton Bugs Talk yesterday morning?
I was there.
Did you get the whole thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Betty?
I was on part of it, but I don't think I got the whole thing.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure there's a recording. I haven't looked for it. I don't know where it is, but I'm sure it must be there. So anyhow, let me do a screen share. Here we go. Screen sharing away. First off, I posted a document in the group in the chat yesterday that looks like this. It starts with links and it has the basic links on it, and then it starts with an explanation of the Saturday team room. Have you seen that? Cynthia, have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Betty, you haven't? So let me go. Oh, Devintel, message me. Well, yeah, I'm okay. Get your butt on the, it should be right here. If we scroll up in here somewhere. Let me just drop it back into the group right now. I'm going to just put another copy of it in. It's called Basic Information and Scripts. And just grab a copy of it. Okay. So there's a couple of important things here. One is these are the four basic websites that you really need to know about. One is, of course, the iBoomerang site, and you will typically access that site by either putting in your username or you can just use this link and it will take you to the iBoomerang site. And then you can log in. So if I just click on that link, it's going to take me out to iBoomerang. And so all I did was I held the control key down and I clicked on it. And so we're here and we can go ahead and log in. This is your iBoomerang site. Now I'm going to assume that you all know how to get here by this time, okay? And let me review with you real quickly. If you want to send a boomerang to somebody, this is where you do it. So you can come in here and you can click on the individual boomerang and put in their name. You don't even have to click on it. It's already up as individual. You put in their name and an expiration date and you generate the code. And then you send them that code and tell them what to do with it. Because everybody knows how to do that. There's no question about how to generate a boomerang. Cynthia, unmute and say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, yes, no question. Okay, does everybody understand the group boomerang? No, okay. So I've generated a group boomerang, for example. Let me show you. In my boomerangs, I can look at the group. I have a group boomerang called Facebook Birthdays. I put 25 uses in, and it hasn't been used. Created it, and the date it expires. And what you do with that, let me go backwards to the dashboard. What you do with a group boomerang, for example, is you click on group, give it a group name or a campaign name. So instead of an individual name, it's a campaign. In my case, it's 4 days. And then you give it an expiration date, and you select a number of uses. Now, I don't want to do it again. I mean, well, I could do it, but we'll just give it an expiration date, give it a number of uses. Let's say 20. Okay, and then I'm not going to generate the code. So what happens then is that you can use that same code up to however many times you've selected in the number of uses. So every time somebody has, in my case, in the case of the birthdays on Facebook, I just started this ago. Every time somebody has a birthday on Facebook, I can send them this code, and I can just use the same code over and over and over again until 25 people, in my case, 25 people have activated it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Anybody? Nobody?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I don't have to be coming here generating a new code every time I want to send somebody a message on their birthday. It says, "Hi, happy birthday. Here's a free code you can use." Activate it and become a free member. Now, Dr. Lorette has been doing this. I'm going to ask her for the message she's using, and I'll come back to a reason for that in a minute. So that's what the group boomerang is. Diane Law is going on a cruise next week. I coached her a little while ago to generate a group boomerang for the cruise, so that she could just have a number, and she's sitting next to somebody, in the cocktail lounge having a cocktail, and she can say, "Hey, you travel often? Gee, I've got this code you can use to book travel, travel and save money. Would you like one?" "Yes." "Okay, fine." So she can just pass out the same code multiple times. And the system keeps track of who activates the code. You don't have to worry about it. You might think, well, if I pass out 25 codes, how am I going to know who the customer is? No, don't worry about it. The system keeps track of that. They have to individually activate their code. And so when the codes get activated, the individuals then get listed by name, and you know who's activated the codes. Okay? So all that makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All right, now, is everyone fully comfortable with how to generate and send an Idecide video?
Nope.
I saw your head bobbing up and down, Betty. Cynthia?
I'm not.
Pardon?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So again, starting from the same page, your iBoomerang main page, to Idecide, right there. And that takes you over to your Idecide site. And all you have to do now is click on post a link, click on next, and you're done. There is a link for your Idecide video. Now, we did that the other day, Cynthia, and you copied the link and you saved it on a Word document on your desktop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you already have one, but you can generate another one, it's okay. Or you can just copy to the clipboard.
Mm-hmm.
If you copy to the clipboard, then you can just go paste it somewhere. and you can send it to somebody.
So you can use that same code until someone uses it, right?
Yeah, the same Idecide video over and over and over and over and over again.
And the same code until someone takes that one, right?
Well, you're using the word code. That discussion's over. We were talking about codes a few minutes ago. Now we're talking about the Idecide video, so I don't want you to confuse the two things.
Okay.
The
Okay.
code is what you're sending somebody to make them a customer.
Right, and this is the,
Now we're talking about the Idecide video.
okay.
So you've got a code for you've got a URL for an Idecide video, which we put on your desktop yesterday or the day before, or you can generate a new one for yourself. Okay?
Okay.
So back to this Word document that I just sent you another copy of. Ibuum Hub is where you find a lot of stuff that's going on. So, I know you don't want to do that.
Land, you're cutting in and out.
Am I?
Yeah, I couldn't hear what you just said.
Okay, well, there's the tickets to Accelerate. You don't want to do right now. I know you don't want to travel alone. I know, and Betty, I know you can't right now, but that's where they are. There's also the back here under training. There's the ambassador orientation. Now these are the 6 new videos. Notice there's also tutorials, compensation plan, good videos, get out of debt. But the ambassador orientation, I highly suggest you go back here and watch all 6 of these videos. Fast start training, how to boomerang, which is what we just talked about a minute ago, how to send a boomerang to a customer. Content basics, how to send an Idecide, and then an explanation of what's covered by your monthly subscription. Why do I have to pay $99 a month? What does that get me? And how to get support, very important, how to get support. And there are more like training, tutorials, etc. So, but I suggest you go back here and watch these videos. So again, it's under training, ambassador orientation on the Ibuum Hub website. And I suggest you explore around this website for all the other things that are back here. But those are the things that I wanted you to know. Now, that's really all for now. Ambassador orientation, we just talked about. Under events, there's a thing called the Dream Weekend 2019. That was introduced yesterday. We didn't know about that before yesterday. And that's the one that's in December. Now, the first day of the Dream Weekend in December is Saturday. And that is for Sapphire and above only. You got to get the Sapphire. We'll talk about that in a minute. But then on Sunday, there's a general session. And so that's the next sort of major big event that's going on. And I'm just going to say that, you know, just like Terry says, I'm going to go with it. I believe it. I agree with him. Events are very important to your ultimate success. So I know you don't like to travel alone, Cynthia, and I know, Betty, you have a cash problem right now. I'm not buying my ticket right now yet either, but I will be there for sure. And I'm going to tell you that you should put it on your radar screen and see if you can't find a way to get there. It will do you a world of good. So let's talk about how we're going to make that happen. Well, one way we can make it happen is by getting you to Sapphire. It's going to take a heck of a lot of work between now and then, but it's doable. So in order to get into the Saturday session, you have to qualify for Sapphire one time in September, October, or November. Well, September is sort of out of the question. That's not going to happen. But November, it's not outside of the question. What does it take to qualify for Sapphire? So let me talk to you about rank advancement a little bit, okay? So you all know that this week I made the first rank advancement. I made it to director. And with a little luck, I might make senior director this month. It's going to take a little luck and a lot of work, but it's possible. It's on the radar. And then the next rank is executive and then Sapphire. So this is where I've got to get to before that event in Florida if I want to go to the leadership. And I do want to get there. So the ranks, you don't need to worry about double, triple crown diamonds. I mean, that's way too far away. The first rank is 2,500 points in a month, qualifying volume. So what are 2,500 points? How do you get 2,500 points? Here's the comp plan, one page. Again, most of this is way too much to worry about. Don't worry about it. Let's just look at the beginning. When somebody joins your team, either coach, business, or first, you get qualifying volume. So if they join a coach, you get 250 points of qualifying volume. If they join a business, you get 500. If they join at 1,000, you get 1,000. So what does it mean to get 2,500 points? Well, one way is to get five people to join your team at business class, or 2.5 people to join first class. Or 10 people to join a coach class. So you earn qualifying points by having people join your team. That's the first way. It's not the only way, but it's the first way. So right now, since you don't have anybody on your team, it's basically the only way in the beginning, because that's how you begin to earn points. So let's just imagine, Betty, that we're going to find between now and November, we're going to find 5 people to join your team at business class, as an example. Okay, well, actually, we need to get to Sapphire, so we need more than 5. Let's just go for the first one, director. 500 points, 5 people, business class, director. So we got to five people to join your team. Cynthia, we got to find 5 people to join your team and your director. Okay, to join a business class, using that as an average, as an example. Okay, are you understanding? You understanding, Cynthia? Okay. And then we go from there. We got to get up to Sapphire. Let's look at the first one. So how many people join the team? What am I doing? What have I been doing? So I'll go backwards for a moment to this Word document that I just sent you all a copy of. And I'm going to scroll down here to what I've been doing is Facebook friends. And I'll show you exactly how I'm doing that. Grabbing my phone and I'm going to my friends list in Facebook. Now, I know you can't really see my friends list, but on the phone, this is an Android phone. Betty, you have an Android, right? We have. Unmute. You have to unmute.
I have a iPhone.
Okay. Cynthia, what do you have?
Phone.
Huh?
I have an iPhone.
Oh, you both have iPhones. Okay. I don't know how to get an alpha. I do not have an iPhone. I do not know how to get an alphabetized list of friends on an iPhone. We have to find somebody who has an iPhone that can tell us how to do that. It's much easier if you can get an alphabetized list. I know on a computer. Now, do you both have iComputers too, or do you have regular
I have a
computers?
Hewlett Packard.
Okay, Cynthia.
I have a Lenovo computer.
Yeah. Okay, so you're running Windows. So on the Windows computer, with Chrome, your friends list doesn't come up in alphabetical order, and I don't know how to get it there. I've tried to figure it out, and I've been unsuccessful. I wonder if Charlene has figured out how to do it on her iPhone, because she has an iPhone. She was trying to figure it out. Because it helps to get an alphabetized list. The reason it helps is that then it makes it much easier to keep track of who you've sent messages to it. You just mark on your alphabetized list. So here's what I'm doing. This is the document I just sent you. If you don't have an alphabetized list, it just gets a little bit more difficult to keep track. But the first message I'm sending is, hey, first name. And I put in first name, hey, John. We've been Facebook friends for quite some time, but rarely talk. How are things for you? Just curious. Do you love to travel? Now, I modify that message. I don't send the same exact message to everybody. I modify it because if I look at my friends list and I'm looking at something I just talked to last week, then I'm not going to send a message that says we haven't spoken a long time. Or if it's somebody that I know something about, like a friend of mine that's in the ski club, or a friend of mine that, I have a whole bunch of friends out there that used to take flights in my flight school. I had California Flight Academy. So I send them a different message. It may be, hey, we haven't talked in a while. How are you going? How are things going for you? Are you still flying? How's that working out? By the way, do you love to travel? Because I always end with, do you love to travel? So I modify the message. I send these out 10 at a time. And I'll show you how I do that in just a moment. And then I just wait to see who replies back. And I do get replies back. So I'm going to show you my Facebook, for example. I sent 10 of these a little while ago this morning, and I started to get responses back. So this lady responded back. So here's the exact message. Hey, and I don't know how to pronounce her name. She lives over on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. We've been Facebook friends for quite some time, but rarely talk. How are things for you? Just curious. You love to travel. And I got an answer back. She was a little windy. So nice to hear from you. So true. We have rarely talked, but I peek into your pages now and then. Okay, good. You asked me if I love to travel, and yes, I have traveled a lot in life, but now it's just short distances. I haven't been to the U.S. in 6 years. What about you, Len? Okay. So I will answer her back, and I will pick up one or two points that she made. And so I'm not going to send her a canned response. But the basic response I'm going to send is this message. It's going to say, awesome, first name. The reason I asked you about travel is a new, very exciting opportunity that allows you to save 70% on all travel, and you could join for free. Are you open to taking a look at a short video to see if it's a fit for you? Now, in her case, I'm going to modify that message. I'm not going to send exactly that message. I'm going to modify it. say, hey, nice to hear from you. Too bad you haven't been able to travel a lot recently. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what I'm going to say exactly because I haven't written it yet, but I'm going to say something. I'm going to make it feel like I listened to her. Okay? I want her to feel like I listened to her, not just sending a copy and paste response. And when she comes back and says, yeah, I'll take a look, which most of them do, then I say, great, my friend, when do you think you'll be able to watch this short 12-minute presentation? And you put in your, I've been adding PS and ask for an email, but I'm the only one who gets that info, so not to worry, I'm not adding you to a list. I've had people back and say, I don't feel like putting in my personal information. You're just adding me to another email list. So I just short circuit that objection immediately. So there's three things that are in here. One is, when do you think you'll be able to watch? Not everybody answers me. Some do. And then it asks for an email, but I'm the only one who gets it. So basically, it's only two things there. And again, I don't say great, my friend. I say great I put their name in, okay? Now, the reason I've written these this way is just in case I slip up and push send before I've added their name. It doesn't look too weird, but I do add their name. So that's my 3-message sequence to get the Idecide out there in front of people. And I'm doing arguably minimum 20 a day, most days, sometimes 30. I rarely do more than 30 in a day, just because I'm lazy.
Lynn, is Facebook liking that?
Yeah, they don't care about this.
Okay.
And I'm not sending them all at once. I'm doing 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, 10 in the evening. So yeah, I'm not having any problem with it at all, zero. And I've been doing it. I've sent about 600 of these so far, maybe 700. I'm not sure. I've got 2,400 friends, and I'm through the H's now. So then I've got some. Now you've got all these. I've got some follow-up messages. Hey, I don't want to waste your time or mine. Are you still interested in learning how you can save up to 70% on future travel? Okay, these are people that either have watched it or have not watched the Idecide. And sometimes I may just say, hey, I haven't heard back from you, or you haven't watched the Idecide. Did the link not work for you? I may put in an immediate message, and maybe I'll put one in here.
Lynn,
yeah.
how long do you wait before you send that one, that follow-up?
Couple, 3 days.
Okay.
And then after I've communicated with them once or twice, if they're not responding, I send a final message, says, I've not heard back from you. I'm going to assume you're not interested. To learn more about how you can save up to 70% on future travel, I don't want to waste your time or mine. If you want more information, let me know. And that is the last message. That's crossing them off the list. They haven't responded. They haven't watched the Idecide. They're not responding to my messages. I quit.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's bugging them. Finally.
Well, it's wasting my time.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's bugging them. It's wasting my time. So that's what I'm doing. That's the sequence. Now, I'm modifying that sequence as time goes on. I'm finding things that I tried a different message yesterday. Nobody replied back. So I dropped that one. Okay. And I think there's an intermediate follow-up message that needs to be in here. Something like, hey, I noticed you haven't started to watch your, I don't tell them I noticed you haven't started to watch your Idecide. What I say is, I wonder if you've got a chance to look at the Idecide, because I know they haven't watched it, because we get an email when they start. So I know they haven't. But I'm going to leave them the quote, the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say something like, hey, have you watched that? Have you had a chance to watch the video I sent you? If not, when do you think you're going to have a chance? So there really is an intermediate message. Hey, John, first name. Did you have a chance to look at the video interactive presentation? I sent. If not, when do you can get to it? Okay, presentation. And that I really do send that message. Okay. So that really should be follow-up one. That should be follow-up one. And then this should be follow-up two. I'll send you a new copy of this. This is follow-up three. So follow-up one is, hey, have you had it? This is like maybe 2 days later, and they haven't watched it. So I'm not going to accuse them of not watching it. I'm just going to say, hey, have you had a chance to take a look at it? What do you think? Or no, not what do you think? Have you had a chance to look at it? If not, when do you think you can get to it? And then, hey, I don't want to waste your time or mine. Are you still interested in learning how you can blah, blah, blah? And then, okay, last chance. If you don't respond to me, I'm crossing off my list. And this is, in network marketing, I don't know anyone who doesn't teach. This is the Eric Worre sequence, basically. You give them 3 tries, 3 strikes, and you're out. Don't waste your time. Don't chase them. They're not going to respond. Now, I do have people come back and say, hey, I'm sorry, Len, I've been really busy. I've been out of town. I've been in meetings. I'm going to get to it this weekend. I have people come back, and that's fine. If they come back and say, hey, I've been busy and I haven't had a chance, that's fine. Then I'll stay with them. As long as they show me that they have some interest, then I'll stay with them. Okay? So here's what you can do just to get started is start down your friends list if you haven't, and just start sending these messages. You're not going to, and you don't worry about hurting someone's feelings. Every now and then I get somebody to push back a little bit, but it's a very minor pushback. And as Terry taught yesterday, and he teaches, and I teach, Lisa Kidder teaches, hold your posture. Hey, I'm giving you an opportunity. If you're not interested, no big deal. And you are. But you want to get 3 people. Now, here's the $1 million secret. Here's the $1 million secret, according to Mr. Bugs. If you can get 3 people a day in front of the Idecide, you'll be a millionaire in 18 months. Probably less. The claim is, and this counts as an exposure. If you'll hear Terry say 3 exposures a day. If you can get 3 exposures a day, and the Idecide video counts as an exposure, the webinar counts as an exposure. If you can get 3 exposures a day, in 18 months, you'll have $1 million. If you can get 2 a day, it'll take longer. If you get 1 a day, it'll take longer. If you get 3 a day, it might take less time. I mean, I've got people that say they made it to Eagle, for example. Eagle's $15,000 a month. They made it in 4, 5, 6 months. Yes, it's a hell of a lot of work. Period. It's up to you. That's the formula. If you can't do 3 a day, do 1 a day. Set it your goal. And sending the link to someone who doesn't watch it does not count as an exposure. Exposure is someone who watched it. And then you got to follow up with them. Hey, I see you watched the Idecide video. What did you like most about it? Okay, the next step is either make them a customer or get them on a webinar, or both. Next step is get them on the webinar. Now, does everybody know where to find the webinar schedule? Is there any question about where the webinar schedule is?
Can we go over it?
We can in just a moment. We will do that. Okay. Let me give you one more site here, script. So you've talked to somebody and you've said, okay, I'm going to make you a customer. Here's a script that you can use. Dear John, as we discussed, I'm gifting you an absolutely free membership site. Today it is only travel, but the sky's the limit. To redeem your free membership, go to igoboom.com and redeem the 6-digit code. And this is where you drop that 6-digit code in. Don't worry, there's no gimmick. People say, there's always a gimmick to these. I get that. Don't worry, there's no gimmick. You're under no obligation to use it anytime soon, but you must activate it. The code expires in whatever you set the expiration for. I recommend either 3 or 7 days, no more than 7. Because if they don't activate it in 7 days, if they don't activate it in 3 days, they've forgotten about it, and it's never going to get activated. P.S. There's also substantial money to be made by sponsoring customers. So if you want to learn more, just ask me. Yes, Cynthia.
How can they afford to do that for customers? I don't understand that part. There has been a person that's asked me that, and I really don't understand it.
How can who afford to do what?
How can iBoomerang afford to actually give all these travel things out to people? Because the customer isn't paying anything.
Neither is iBoomerang.
Yeah, but how could iBoomerang do that? How can they, have the money to do that? If you had a whole bunch of customers, where are they getting the money from?
Okay, your $100 monthly subscription. $33 of your monthly subscription is supporting the customer acquisition program.
Okay, so it's coming from the people that are paying.
Okay, so go back to go back to Ibuum Hub. And under training, under resources, under training, ambassador orientation, which is what I talked about earlier. Under ambassador orientation, you're in training. Your monthly subscription. Go watch this video. This explains, here I'll pull it up. This explains your monthly subscription and what it's doing for you. Why do I have to pay to be an ambassador? This little video explains what your monthly subscription is paying for. I'm just going to show you a graph. They all have monthly. I'm trying to pause this. All right, right here, we can't see it with this menu up in front of us, but right here, it gives you a little graph. Your customers, the PRIB, and all the tools. So your monthly subscription is basically paying for these 3 things. A third of the monthly subscription is paying for the customer acquisition program. So $33 a month goes to that program. And the rest, 33 goes to the Prib and 33 goes to the business tools. And you can watch the rest of this video and see how it's all split up and what it's doing. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, free customer site. So that was, this is what I'm sending people when I send them their free site. And of course, you got to remember to put in their name and put in the code. So make sure you fill in those two blanks. Then there's some phone numbers here, and this is Terry's aggressive new friend request from yesterday, which I'm not going to go over right now. Okay. So the other thing that is up here in this list of websites is there are two iGo platforms running simultaneously. Don't get them confused. One is the customer site and the other is the TSA member site. Betty, you became a customer before you became a TSA. You actually have both sites. As a customer, you can access more features than you can access as a TSA right now because you're just at standby. But for half the savings. Remember, customers save half of what TSAs save. So, you know, if you wanted to book an airplane, or, well, it really doesn't apply to airplanes as much as it does to, say, hotels. You'd want to go to your TSA member site because you're going to get a bigger discount. But if you want to book a cruise, you can't do that. You're going to have to go to your customer site. Cynthia, you don't have a customer site. I don't believe you ever became a customer.
No,
I believe
I didn't.
you came in. Are you business class?
I'm at Coach.
Coach, okay. Okay, so coach class. So you have access to some things, not all things, but again, discounts are different between the two sites. But the important message is to understand that there are two sites. This is the customer site. It says customers only right here.
Mm-hmm.
And bookingsigoforless.com. How do you get to the member TSA site? Right there. You go to your iBoomerang main menu and you click on iGo. And that takes you to the TSA site, to your TSA site. Okay? So be careful about that. Be careful to understand the difference between the customer site and your TSA member site.
So this is what the customer site looks like?
No, this is what your TSA member site looks like.
Oh.
Customer site looks the same. It looks the same. It's just that it has a different level of things that are available, and it has a different level of savings. I got here by going to your iBoomerang site, which the customer doesn't have access to, doesn't have one of these, and clicking on iGo. The customer site is this one.
The thing that I like about having the customer site is that they send me out every day. They send out specials. They send out different information about different things, you know, when's the best time to travel this time of year? Where's the best place to go this time of year? If you want cold weather, if you want hot weather, if you want, you know, it has all kinds of information on there for people that are traveling. It's great.
You know what that's called?
What?
That's the Prib.
Oh,
That's part of your monthly fee. $33 a month is supporting the Prib. Perpetual.
I thought that was on the customer.
It is.
Oh,
The Prib is designed, perpetual residual income builder. It's designed to build income for you by
yeah.
keeping the customers informed as to what's going on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's great.
as we add the new verticals, the Prib is going to come into its full bloom and be able to show people, hey, you can buy gas over here, you can get you can get your ride share, you can get whatever it is we're offering. That's the Prib in action. It's in its infancy, but that's what it is. The promise of Iboomerang is they're going to market to your customers for you. You don't ever have to worry about it. All you got to do is get them signed up and stand aside.
Yeah, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Okay. So we reviewed how to generate an Idecide, how to sign up a customer. We've reviewed a little bit about what it means to rank advance and what it takes to advance to the first rank. We talked about the event in Florida in December and about Accelerate in spring, a little bit about Accelerate. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about today?
Nope, not me.
Okay, we talked about, you know, I changed this since I put a copy of it in the group. So let me put another copy in the group right now. Because we changed this while we were sitting here talking. So let me take this attachment out. So you're going to download this again. If you downloaded it, I'm just removing it from the group, and you're going to download the new one because we just made some modifications to it. Okay? One modification we made is we added that one script, the intermediate follow-up script. That, hey, I sent you an Idecide, you haven't watched it. When do you think you'll have a chance? Are you still? And then so there were 3 scripts in there. Okay, so my recommendation is at this moment in time is start trying to find some people that want to join up with us.
I've been doing that.
Pardon?
I've been doing that.
Cool. Okay, there you go. Well, keep right on going. And find yourself some TSAs, and let's begin to build this business for you, okay? Betty, you look terrible.
Gee, thanks.
That's got to be the most unfun thing.
Yeah, well, then I got a cold on top of it, so.
Oh, God. That's awful. All right. If there isn't anybody else, anything else for today, we'll call it a day.
Okay, thank you.
As the days move by here, maybe next week, maybe the following week at the latest, we're going to move this. We're going to become a regular meeting on the Tuesday night time at 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock East Coast, 7 o'clock Cynthia.
7, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna replace the other coaching program meeting, which is gonna wind down. In fact, I don't think there's gonna be one this Tuesday, and that's gonna be the end of that program. And of course, this program we'll replace it. This is not paid. No one's paying for this. In order to be in this group, you have to be a TSA on my team.
Mhm.
And that's the requirement to be in this group. And no one else is going to get in. Well, with rare exception, we might let someone else in because they are signing up next week. Or I have one guy named Drew who doesn't have the money today, but he says he'll have it in 2 weeks, and he really wants in. And so, yeah, I'll take people like that. But generally only TSAs will be in this little group, and it's not going to be little for very long. We're going to grow it. And as you bring people onto your team, they will be invited to come to this. And this will just be a smaller, more intimate meeting group than the Team Dare group, which has over 300 people in it. So we'll have a little smaller, intimate, face-to-face meeting.
Team Dare is 300 people?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they've been going since March, full steam ahead, and there's 2 of them.
Right.
That helps.
That helps, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I know, you're busy, Betty's busy. It's tough when you're busy,
Right.
So try to squeeze out, set a goal to get 1 exposure a day for yourself. Set that goal.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was 2, but I think I'm going back to 1. Oh, well.
Well, 2's a good number. Okay. Shoot for the moon. Shoot for the stars. You might hit the moon. Shoot for the moon. You might splash down in the Southern Ocean, and it's cold. All righty, everybody. You have a wonderful day. We'll talk again. Take care.
Okay. Bye, Betty. Bye.
Okay, thanks.
Bye
Cynthia.
for now. I'm going to stop the recording.